Yo, what's going on, Diddy Squad? Today, we're installing a carbon wheel from DYNAPERFORMANCE in the Mustang. Sick wheel, LED bar at the top, all that. But yes, that's what we got today. Now let me show you what you need to install this wheel. Now, there's not much you need. Some pick tools, 24mm, 7-8mm, extension, ratchet, knife, Phillips head, T30, Torx bit, wire stripper, and a breaker bar. That's all we need today. Alright, first thing you gotta do is come over here, come disconnect your battery. You don't want to be messing with an airbag and it blows up in your face. So usually you would unscrew the ground, but I got a kill switch, so I could just flip this because my power. But that's the first step. Now what you want to do is take your trim tool and take out both of these. There's one on each side with your trim. Alright, once you get those little things out, get your ratchet and your 8mm and unscrew those two screws. And those two screws are holding in the airbag. So once you get those out, you can pull the airbag out. Alright, two screws are out. Take it, wiggle it a little bit. Pops out. And then you have those two connectors. Unplug those. And you'll be good. Airbag's out. All good. And then you see, pretty hard to mix them up. There's a black and a white. And then on the back of the airbag, it's black and a white. So obviously, match them up when you put this back in, and you'll be good. Next thing you gotta do is take out that big 24mm in there, which is holding in the whole wheel. So you come over here, take 24mm breaker bar, and pop it off. All right, bolt is out. Next, gotta disconnect this harness up here. There's one little thing you gotta push up, a little push pin. Push it up and pull it out. All right, then the wheel just comes out like that, just like so. This is the clog spring. Make sure this stays just like that. Don't turn it, don't twist it, turn it, because then your wheel will be all messed up when you put the wheel back on, new wheel back on, and want to drive. All right, once you have the wheel out of the car, come over to a workbench, table, whatever you got, and we got to take apart this bracket for the airbag. Take the buttons out. We got to take everything out of this and transfer it over to the new wheel. So first you want to do, take these T30 bits out, these three that hold in this bracket for the airbag, and take those out and I'll go back to you. Alright, once you get that out, put that to the side, put the bolts with it. Oop. Right there. Now you gotta take these out. Just this wire, little thing on the side of it, little push pin, push it, pulls right out. Do that for both sides. Once that's done, you gotta take out the rest of the wiring harness. So it's just these two clips, just pull them out. Oh, they're like little Christmas tree clips type of things. And then you take your T20 and just undo that ground right there. And then it should all come out. Alright, once everything's out, that's what the old wheel should look like. That's what you got out of the wheel. And once you're done, flip it over. 4 more screws. Where are they? Let's see. T20 screws, 4 T20 screws. Take that out, and then it's just this plate that you want from this wheel. Alright, once you get those out, this little backing plate just slides out like so. There you go. Now put this to the side with all the rest of your stuff. Oh, I forgot one thing. Need your controls. So, come over here, take your screwdriver, be careful with it, press it in there, and they should pop out. What you want to do now is throw this shit out. You don't need this anymore. Take your new wheel, and now reverse all the things we just did. So you got to put all this back, just the way it was on the old wheel, and then throw this back in the car. All right, so now your wheel's all done, it's all prepped. Get back in the car, and you gotta take this piece off. That's what you gotta do. Take your trim tool, get underneath of it, and just pull it up, and it just pries out. Just a few clips, comes right out. After that, come down here, and there's 2 bolts. One there, and then one on the other side right there. Take those out, they're 7mm, and then this whole thing will come out. Just pull it, and then we'll get on to the next step. All right, now got half of it off, just gotta pop it off like that, and it comes right off. Now you gotta undo those 2 bolts, and there's a bolt underneath. Let me get a better angle for you guys, hold on one second. Actually, before we get to that, you gotta take this off, and you gotta take this trim piece off. So mine's broken, so mine just comes off. You know, race car things. And then there's one little push pin right back there. Take that out, and then this whole piece just pulls out. All right, now you got this off, we'll get back to these. Those 2 screws there, and then there's one up in there, right in there. Take those out, and then this whole bottom piece should be able to break free. Next thing you gotta do, grab a piece of wire, strip out the ends. Doesn't have to be long, just like that. Grab one of these little connectors, and then a little wiring harness pin connector like that. What you want to do is, obviously on one side, crimp that. Other side, crimp it like that. And then we'll get back in the car and I'll show you where to put that. And it should look like this after you're done. Both sides, there's the connections on it. One's a little ghetto, but I guess we'll be alright. And then you want to put it in this harness, in between the orange and yellow wire in that connection that isn't taken right there. All right, once you get it in that side, take this side, connect it to the red wire that's going from the wheel, connect it that, and should have power to the wheel now. So tuck that behind down there, make it look all nice, whatever, and we'll get on to the next step. But I forgot to mention before, blue wire. Since I got a 13-14, this is not necessary. Don't gotta use it, so I'm just putting it down there, not using it. And the black wire, which is the ground, goes down there. Can't really see where the factory ground wire is. Just put both grounds and the screw back in. That's what you gotta do. Now, all your connections are good. So now, feed these through the back. These 2 airbag wires. Somehow. Pull them through the front. And now just put your wheel back on the clock spring. Once it's on, you wired up your connections. Take your 24mm clock spring bolt, stick it back in, and torque it down to 41 foot-pounds. All right, once you get that bolt in, gotta come down here to this harness, pull this out with your nail, and then come down here, and you're gonna put a wire in the connection next to the balloon white and that purple, or whatever color that is, in one of those 2 connections right there. So my wheel came with this yellow wire, or with the connection already on it. Pulled this out, come over here, spin it around, put this yellow into that one right there. Once you get that plugged in, run it down into the center, out the other way, right there, once you get it there, might have to cut more wire, splice it, but we're gonna wire it to that fuse box right down there. All right, now come down here to the passenger side wheel well, whatever the hell it's called. Pop this piece off, you get to the fuse box right here, and then take the fuse box cover off. It's these two push pins right here. Push them in, pull it right out, there's your fuse box. All right, once you get the fuse box off, get this, take a wire. It's fuse number 27, which is right there. 20 amp fuse. Take a wire, wrap it around one of the teeth of the fuse, put it back in, and then have that wire run from there across to your other wire, which is the power wire, going from down there. Once that's all connected, we'll get on to the next step. All right, now, once you have everything wired up, everything in here, obviously besides the airbag, tap into the fuse, plug this in with your box, and now let's try and test it out. Get the key. With this, even in accessory mode, it won't turn on. That's where I got stuck. Car has to be on since you're tapping into the ignition switch, so turn the car on, and boom, there you go. All working, you can toggle through everything. Voltage, all this. All right, open up the exhaust, show you the RPMs. Now that you know it works, bolt everything back up, airbag, everything up here, reverse everything you did taking it off, and then once I do that, I'll get back to you guys, give you some cinematics and some stuff like that.